Okay.
You can text me anything you need.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How is everyone this morning? Hi, Mary. Hi, Julian. Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Noah.
It might be different for the other people joining, right? Might be evening.
Yeah, right now we have Aurosugan who is here with us, and it's evening. It's 8:30 in India, and we have Mary for whom it's 8 a.m. And we have Alana for who I think it's also around 8 a.m. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Jack. Hey, guys. So we're just chatting here a little bit with Aurosugan. Hi, Julian. So we'll just give it a few more minutes until a few more people show up. And Alana is helping us with the tech. What would we do without you? Okay, so should we have like a little bit of a split screen right now in if I go to gallery, Alana? Or
Yep, all good.
Yep. Okay. 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 So okay, so I'm just going to start now and introduce myself. My name is Yana Boambas, and I've been with AVI USA since May, and I've been visiting Auroville since 2018. And Auroville International USA has been doing a series of monthly Zoom presentations and events. And this month, we are very fortunate to have Aurosugan Vengadeshan, who is a formidable healthcare entrepreneur who from Auroville. He is a third generation Aurovillian, and his training is in healthcare and healthcare administration. He's both a scientist with a degree in microbiology and a healthcare administrator. He had a beautiful career at Auroville Hospital in Pondicherry. And hopefully Julian will fill us in maybe with a question or a comment about the history of the Auroville hospitals. But Aurosugan started working at Auroville Hospital after finishing his degree in health administration. And his experience at Auroville Hospital made him understand the workflow and the pattern of healthcare, the way healthcare sort of manifests itself from, you know, a patient having a problem to their entry in the emergency room. And seeing this process and seeing that there was no middle step from, you know, an individual having a health problem that was not addressed to them ending in the emergency room at Auroville Hospital, he realized that the middle step of screening and regular maintenance in healthcare was not existent in Auroville and the Auroville areas. So at the beginning of COVID, he went back to Auroville to help manage the COVID situation in Auroville. And he had the idea to start Aurokiya Eye Center that would create this middle step of screening, education, regular maintenance for the entire population of Auroville and the surrounding areas. So I'm going to let Aurosugan introduce himself and talk a little bit more about the Aurokiya initiative that he created.
Thank you, Anna, for this wonderful introduction. I think I can start. So,
Yep.
Vanakkam to all. My name is Venkateshan, also known as Aurosugan, mostly in Auroville. I was born in Auroville Health Center. And my name was given to me by one of the devotees of Mother. So that goes back into my history. So greetings to you all. So now I'm talking to you directly from Aurokiya Eye Care. I just finished my work and I joined the meeting, and I'm really happy that you all have made in from different timings for this. So Ayana has given me a good introduction about my work and what I have been doing at Aravind and in Auroville. So that happens how 12 years of experience at Aravind. So that was really an eye-opener for me. I think there was also a purpose why I was sent to Aravind from Auroville, because it just did not happen like that. I met a lot of people before going into Aravind, and everybody pushed me into that direction. I think it's Mother's grace that pushed me. So I went to Aurobindo Society. I met a few people, Vijay Potare, and few senior people who guided me, as a youngster, you need to get a lot of experience, and an organization like Aravind would really help you build your future and career. So that is how I think I went into Aravind. So after Aravind, there was a call anyway, a call to me that I should come back to Auroville. That was always there because I was born here. I have to do something to Auroville and the people whom I've all grown up with. So with this, my domain is healthcare. So I wanted to focus on healthcare and this COVID was a big challenge, and it really showed the importance of healthcare. So I was, as I said, I was handling the COVID. And at this time when the COVID was getting a bit lower, the intensity of the COVID was getting lower, I thought of starting this activity of eye care. So the reason behind starting eye care was interesting. Before I start, the reason why I started Aurokiya Eye Care, I'll just give you a brief introduction about what Aurokiya means. So Aurokiya in our local language, Tamil, means sound health. That is what is called Aurokiya. So again, Aurokiya Eye Care is a bigger picture of this Aurokiya concept. And our main focus is on working on preventive and promotive healthcare as a whole. So why I was really looking into this preventive and promotive care was interesting, because if I would have been a doctor or a clinician, I would have been treating patients. Fortunately and unfortunately, I'm not a doctor. So I wanted to focus on preventive care. So my focus was on making less patients visit the doctors or going for complex treatment. So that is where I really wanted to focus on. So this could be only reached through primary care. So that was the main aim of me working on this direction. So like everywhere, sustainability is talked as a whole. Eye care also, sustainability is very important. So when we talk about sustainability, we say about people whom we care, because it's in India, the population that we have and the need for healthcare is very huge. And the other thing is the money. A lot of people spend a lot, the out-of-pocket expenditure in India is very high. There are a lot of poverty. People are pushed into poverty due to this kind of care when they enter into hospital. So, and the other part is the environment. So, so this is why I was talking, because I was working with this sustainability concept also in Aravind and Africa, which I'll talk to you a bit later. Then the environment. So a lot of people would ask, what does environment do with primary care? So what I identified being in the hospital is, suppose if you have a problem and the problem gets complex, okay, the option is to go for a surgery. So what happens if you go for a surgery? So there is a lot of consumables being used, a lot of waste, hospital waste being generated, and all this waste comes back into the environment. And then this is again a cycle. So what happens in the environment? Again, different diseases come up, the treatment goes on. So this is a cycle. So the option is to prevent the hospitals or reduce the hospital waste is again preventive care. So if you do preventive care, we can reduce the hospital stays or hospital visits for a particular patient, and also the consumables they use. So this is the reason why Aurokiya focused it's towards the primary and preventive care. So right now at Aurokiya, we are taking eye care as a model, because eye care again was a big demand in Auroville and the bioregion. We did not have eye care facilities here. So when I was at Aravind, I was active and I opened an eye care center in Auroville, but it was not able to function to the scale Aravind wanted, because Aravind is a high volume center where they expect many patients to come in, and this center was located inside Auroville, where it was not really accessible to the bioregion. So that is the reason why Aravind closed it. And once I came out of Aravind and I was working in the health sector field, Aravind has always been very supportive. Like the management people were really open. I think Julian will be giving a small introduction of Dr. B and Auroville. Even now, Aravind and Auroville have a close connection because of the spirituality of Sri Aurobindo and mothers, same practice that is being followed in Aravind. So that is the reason why I took this concept of Aurokiya Eye Care and to work on this preventive care. So our focus is to establish a center that is accessible to Auroville people as well as the bioregion. So there are more than about 80,000 populations within this Auroville bioregion where we have this center, and we don't have an eye doctor or eye care facility here. So whenever there is even a foreign body, or you just travel in your bike, something falls in your eyes, they have to go to Pondi for an eye checkup. And if you go to a bigger hospital, your wages is lost. You have to wait there for entire day. So all this were multiple reasons why we needed an eye care facility here, and that is the reason why we have established Aurokiya Eye Care. Yeah, so this introduction about Aurokiya and myself, why I established Aurokiya.
Okay, that's very, very interesting, and I'm glad you explained to us the whole development of your thinking, and also the sustainability aspect of the concept of Aurokiya, because it's, there's always, I think all of us in our throughout our day, we find those moments where we're spending too much time, we're doing something twice, we're using too many resources, and the simplification and streamlining is something that I've seen actually over and over again in India, where I feel it's a particular brilliance of India, where you take something and you create, anything out of it, something that scraps, just any materials, and you make something beautiful for your home, or you make something functional. And I've seen this over and over again traveling through India, and that's one of the things that draws me. Every time I go there, I come back and I'm always like, how can I simplify? How can I streamline? So that is just what it triggered in me, like hearing you talk about that, your process. But anyway, let's follow up with a short video where Aurosugan is going to, we'll watch Aurosugan in the eye care center, and we'll see a few clips of what goes on there. And if you just give me 1 second to get it. Here we go. Okay. Trying to set up the screen share. Okay. Ah, hold on. Is everyone having audio? No audio. Okay. 1 second. I did not do the. There we go. Start again. One second here. Sorry, guys. Okay, it is optimized. Sound on?
My name is Venkateshan, also known as Aurosugan in Auroville. I did all my schoolings in Auroville and then went on to do my MBA in healthcare management. I worked at Aravind Eye Hospitals for 12 years as a management person in the Pondicherry branch.
Close that gallery it's creating on the screen.
So after some time, after 10 years at work at Aravind, there was some call that I need to come back to Auroville. I started my own activity called Aurokiya. Aurokiya in Tamil is sound health. This is a permanent setup near to Auroville, accessible to the bioregion. The vision of this particular activity is a healthy Auroville and a healthy bioregion, because I also feel it's important for Auroville to focus on the health of the people who live and who are part of the Auroville community also, like the workers who come every day here. I took the field of eye care, which I was trained in, which I had an experience of 12 years at Aravind. Aurokiya focuses on health promotion, health prevention through primary care. Like health promotion is to change the behavior of the people, to change their lifestyle to be a healthy person. So this could only be achieved through increasing the awareness, health literacy of the people. The other part is prevention part through primary care. Primary care is not to have a big setup which is costly, and to more find out people with health problems at the early stage and to give them the possible best treatment. So what do we do through Aurokiya? I can just give you a small example. If you take the diabetes population in India, it's about 12%. Okay, so what does this do with eye? It is called diabetic retinopathy. It is a condition where the blood vessels of the eyes get affected due to diabetics, which is irreversible blindness. If we screen this problem at the early stages, we can reduce the cost for the patients, and we can also increase the quality of the life for the patients. We have 2 people running this center. They are trained optical technicians. A patient can walk at any time into this center. They don't need an appointment. So the patient is being registered. So we have an electronic medical record system to track the progress of the patients, as well as to have data, and the patient is given a small ID card which they bring for the next time. Once a patient comes just for a normal checkup, we do a complete eye examination. Like for example, taking an image of your eye, you can really screen the diabetic retinopathy. Once all these investigations are being done, the patient is again presented to a doctor who is remotely at Aurovill. So Aurovill has been a partner for us. Aurovill Eye Hospital Pondicherry has been a partner with us, who are giving us consultation support. And the doctor at that remote place can see all the information, can see all the investigations. So if they advise, if they say it's a normal and we can give an eye drop or an eyeglass here, and if it's a very major reason and they need a referral, the patient is referred to Aurovill Eye Hospital immediately, and there the patient is being taken care. So by this method, around 80% of the eye problem is taken care here. We also focus on schools. Okay, school screening is one of the important aspects of Aurokiya eye care. Now the use of digital technology has really increased very high, and a lot of people spend a lot of time on these mobile screens, which they do not focus on the distance vision. So as a result, what happens? Children develop myopia, which is a sight problem, at the young age. So to address this problem, we started a campaign to do school screenings for all the schools in Auroville and in the bioregion. The other part is we are also going to focus on eye screening for the workers who are working in Auroville, in like Mathuramandir, Maroma. There are big organizations where more than like 50 to 100 people are working. So we need to do eye screening. So workplace screening will also be a part of Aurokiya eye care. We are also doing community eye camps. So where we screen for cataract eye problems. So this will be like mega camps where we screen 200 to 300 patients in a day.
I think we have to. Okay, that was too short. That was my impression, right? I feel like we needed to see more of that. And I do want to mention that we had incredible obstacles for creating this presentation, including creating the video clip and getting photographs and putting everything up on the website, because our website was down half the time. during the promotional period. And the wonderful creator of the video clip, Stefano from Auroville Radio, ended up being very late returning to India for all kinds of reasons. And then Aurosugan's phone wasn't working. And, it was all snowballed, but we're very lucky to have had this short video clip about what goes on at Aurokiya. So we're very thrilled with that. But anyway, just wanted to mention that, despite the fact that it was short, we're so happy to have it. So Aurosugan, I also have, I wanted to share a short anecdote about an experience that I had in Auroville, where, illustrating the need for this kind of eye care, where someone I had worked with at the Mandir Garden during COVID contacted me desperately on WhatsApp because I had an eye infection and they didn't know where to go. And they had been walking around with an eye infection for almost 2 days and the eye was getting worse, and they knew I had healthcare experience. So they contacted me from the Mandir from Auroville, India to New York, asking me what to do about it. They absolutely did not have a place to go. And everyone was giving them advice, put flower essences, do this rinse, do that rinse, and the eye was getting worse. And finally they went to health center and they got antibiotic drops. But there is a real problem not knowing where to go when you have these kinds of issues. So I think it's wonderful that Aurosugan, not only has he developed the eye care center, but he's also creating the eye screening camps. So I would like to ask Aurosugan some questions about the eye screening camps. And Aurosugan, how is it that you got the idea? Like, what was the model that, that spurned this initiative of creating the eye screening camps? Because it seems very very overwhelming. Like, how do you get the people together? How do you get permission? How do you get the technology to do that? So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how this initiative started to manifest for you.
Thank you for this. I really have to thank Auroville Radio and AVI USA for this wonderful short video. I know we have gone through this time, but thank you so much for making up this video. I know a few photos were not be able to capture it, but anyway, it was really nice, and thank you for this information. But before I take this question, I'll just maybe take a break because it's about half an hour since we started the session. A little bit interesting because we have been looking into our screens, keeping our focused on to the screens for a long time. So this is again a challenge, which I already said, this is how young generation are getting into the screens. Especially with COVID, what happened when there were online classes that was really happening. Every student would have a mobile, small mobile or whatever mobile, just going very close into their mobiles. So again, that was what Aurokiya needs to focus. So we'll just give you a small demo of what we did. Hope I'm just going to share something like, what do we do if we spend a lot of time on our screen? So how do we take a break? We can take a break, have some water. Okay, so what do we do for we can have a sip of coffee. So what do we do for our eyes? Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so can I ask everybody just to close your eyes a little bit? Okay, just keep it for 5 seconds. Open up. And can you just focus your vision to a distant object? What do you see through your windows? If you have windows, you can see through your windows. So the object should be about 20 feet distance. So focus the object at a 20 feet distance for at least 20 seconds. Good. So we can come back and again close your eyes. Don't see your screens after this. Just close your eyes for 5 seconds. Okay, slowly open your eyes. So how do you feel now? How was the break?
Anyone?
Anybody wants to share it?
Anybody feel a difference?
Any?
Maggie?
Oh, go ahead. Someone else.
Julian?
Yeah, I always find that it's so good to walk the walk because here we are in our screens, and just to take a minute to rest. Our friend JV, who taught pranayama, would also get us to rub our hands together and palm our eyes. These little exercises just to rest and get us out of. It's also the whole body tenses around it. So I really appreciate you did that.
So I think, yeah. So most of the times, we look into this exercise, we heard it, but it's very difficult for even for youngsters or children's to get them to do this as a practice. So, there's something called, this is, I hope somebody can see my screen. I'm just sharing a small image. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yeah, so this is called the 20-20 rule, which is given from the Optometrics Association from US, but it's not commonly known to a lot of people, and which is very important that we need to also get this message to young children, and not only children, but also people who work a long time on their screens, like now IT field where you work 8 to 10 hours to even 12 hours in an IT screen. So this is called the 20-20 rule. The rule is very simple. So if you focus or you are on screen for 20 minutes, okay, take a break for 20 seconds. Okay, so what do you do with this 20 seconds? You see a distance object, which is about 20 feet from your thing for 20 seconds. You have to see this particular distance object for 20 seconds. So this, again, this is like what also Julian said, you can rub your eyes and keep it because for the warmth of your eyes. So these are like small activities that we also do it with children, when we do school screening camps for them to keep their eyes healthy. Like we don't want, this is a way that they tell a lot of people and, to have their eyes kept healthy. So I'll just stop sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now I think I can come to the question. So there are different activities that we do like this with the children, like Julian said, we ask them to focus, take your hand to this, a little bit of eye yoga also, so that they can do it in the mornings or in the evenings. So this is one part of the activities that Aurokiya also does. So coming back to the question, how difficult it is and how the initiative came into picture was really interesting. Like what Anna said, I had a similar example with just yesterday when we had a patient who had an insect leg, insect falling into his eye while he's driving his two-wheelers, because two-wheelers are very common in India. We don't have much of cars in use, so it's more riding that happens. And also in this part, I think wearing sunglasses is not that common. So people think if you wear sunglasses, you are a rich person. So a lot of people do not wear sunglasses, and we are in one of the tropical climates. So I had a patient coming into this clinic. He just came that 2 days my eyes are red. I'm just rubbing like this, but not able to see anything. So one of our staff, Shanti, just went through the slit lamp behind me and just found the leg, the sharp, small leg piece of the insect was in his eye for 2 days. Okay, so if he would have not looked into it, this would really go into an infectious stage, like what you said, they need to get an antibiotic, and this foreign body has to be removed. Okay, so this, I think this kind of a care can really be done here. And this is what is again a focus, we don't need to go to a bigger hospital, wait for a long time, spend a lot of money for this. So this is one part of thing. And the other part where the question you asked is the community outreach. So again, India being in terms of population, a very populated state, and tropical climate, cataract is very common. And still, I don't know if you would accept this, the fear for cataract is still prevalent in the community. So recently, so it's again a big job for us to counsel these people to get a cataract surgery. I can share you an example, because this is all the difficulty task, like this is why people do not access eye care to get an operation. So they feel, once you go into the hospital, they will just use a word called operation, or they use some surgery. Surgery is something very, if you hear surgery, it's a bit very frightening for a lot of people here. So a lot of old people are not able to even access this. So that is why we started doing this community outreach, where we saw a lot of cataract patients not being able to go to the hospital. So we, in partnership with Aurovill Eye Hospital, also the partnership with local panchayat leaders, because to do a camp where we need to bring 100 to 200 patients, it's like a one-day festival that happens with the food, finding a place, where we use schools. So all this really happened. It's a very challenging job to do an eye screening camp, and the most challenging is to bring patients and make them accept for a surgery. Okay, so there is where people like me have to sit with the patient. I'm also here. I've been working at Aurovill. People think eyes will be removed, or new eyes will be kept. All these fear factors are still. I thought, why are people so silly? But when I put myself into their perspective, they have never seen it. So we have to explain to them how this is. There is where this young team, which I have, these young girls from their local place, they will be knowing to them. So they explain to this, we'll take care. All this is there. So if you see the difficulty part in doing outreach camps, workplace camps are a little easier. When we approach a unit to get a permission and do a workplace is a bit easier, but a community camp is a bit tough. The expenses is also a bit high, and also to get a place, to do the advertisement, and to get a lot of people. So how do we do an advertisement is, here again, to get the old people, we can't use WhatsApps or emails to reach them, or phone calls. So we still use the traditional methods where we do auto announcements. We hire an auto, we put we put a dialogue with music. So this particular day there is going to be a cataract surgery. Please come. All this is free. So we need to do this kind of an advertisement to these people to make a lot of people come into this camp. So I think that is the challenging job of doing eye camps. And the most challenging is like for Aurovill Eye Hospital, it's more like an established center. So the name is there. Again, we say Aurokiya is doing an eye camp is also a bit difficult, to get people, because it's very new. It will also take us time, to get the names that Aurokiya is a safe place, all this. So these were the challenging things when we are doing, especially large community eye camps. So I think the last camp was successful. We did 200 patients. We identified 25 cataract surgeries, and 24 patients accepted for surgery. One patient we were not able to convince. So she said, God has given me this eye only to be like this. I don't want other people eye. I don't want an eye surgery. So we tried all our best. And then the last step, what we have done is we have asked one of the patient who underwent the surgery to come and explain to her. And she said, okay, now I accept. Maybe she will be ready for the next camp. So that is how things are happening in terms of eye camps to us. Yes, Anna, thank you.
Oh, Well, it seems like it's a real challenge to get this to get the eye camps really really going, but I think it's a very normal process in the life of any new center or any new business, where you really have to be there, you have to make yourself known, you have to create a reputation for reliability, and it seems like you guys are doing that. You know, and hopefully this little presentation is going to help, because we've put it on Facebook a lot, and there are other people who have signed up and contributed to your project who are not here, and they will receive the video afterwards. And we're encouraging everyone to share you know, the video and the information about Aurokiya. And I think I'll just go ahead. Oh, is Mary raising her hand?
Yeah.
Is Mary raising her hand?
No, I just spoke with someone last weekend actually, who said I think it was, you know, she has the beginnings of glaucoma. And so I was thinking, there are probably other diseases that you address. I mean, not that you fix necessarily, but that you can share with people and help them get into treatment. What other sorts of diseases do you see?
Thank you, Mary. I think that was a wonderful question. I think that is again the important part of Aurokiya, where we talk about preventive care, because I have not really gone into this topic where cataract is very easy. You know, it's in process. You know, once you get old, your cataract is more prone to happen. But the problem that you said, glaucoma, there is also another problem called diabetic retinopathy, which I also highlighted a bit. So these are conditions which are called like silent thieves, which take your eyesight. So they are difficult to identify, and it's also not very, people do not really recognize they have an eye problem. Like for example, with glaucoma, your side vision gets affected. Okay, it's not the straight vision gets affected. So these are very difficult to identify. So that is again the community outreach camp which we do. We don't only do camps for cataract, but we do all complete eye examination. So we have portable equipments that can detect glaucoma. Okay, so that is, glaucoma is mostly caused by the intraocular pressure. So we have an equipment to check the intraocular pressure of the patient, and also we do some kind of field tests to see, you know, how the vision is getting affected. So these are techniques that we use. As you rightly said, we don't really treat them, because we, as I said, we are not really a hospital to treat patients. So we immediately refer these patients to Auroville. So this is where we play our role. So once we identify them at the most earliest stage, it's better for them to get, you know, to preserve the sight. Also the cost wise, you know, if they just go at the early stage, they might be getting some drops. That is, maybe your friend might be advised some kind of an anti-glaucoma drugs that she needs to take for a long time. But if we don't diagnostics, what would happen really is, once the nerves will getting damaged, because the intraocular pressure increases, the nerves will get damaged. The options would go for surgeries or lasers, which are more costly. As I told you, you know, the cost increases, the environmental impact also increases. You know, if you go for a surgery, you go for a laser, you need a laser machine, you need multiple visits to hospital. So this again is the direction which Aurokiya is doing. So we are in whatever camps, to answer your question very simply, like in whatever camps we do, we are doing it as a comprehensive camp. We detect glaucoma, we detect diabetic retinopathy, we identify cataract, and also other eye problems like squint for children. All problems are being identified in these camps, because with the latest technology we can do this. I don't know if this is the right answer. Like I have something called artificial intelligence. So now, which we use to detect the diabetic retinopathy at the early stages. So this is the technology that I'm trying to bring in the care process, because we don't have doctors. So we'll use this technology to screen patients. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that question.
Yeah. Okay. So I think at this point we should just show the little slideshow of the camps for everyone, of the screening camps,
Oh,
so that people can have a better idea. They can just see some images and have an idea of what goes on. Okay.
okay. I think that was there. Thank you.
What? Yeah. um okay. Okay, we're going to have another little mhm. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, sorry about this. Okay, I'm having a few technical difficulties here. One second. Oh boy. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Is everyone seeing this?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah. So this is the intraocular pressure monitoring
Yeah.
machine. I think the video can run. I'm just explaining to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So torchlight examination, by just using torchlight, we can identify a lot of eye problems.
Mm.
This is what I also teach children, to screen their grandparents. Just using a torch cataract. So this is a school screening camp that we did in collaboration with Tamarai. Yeah. So this is again, when we just seeing the slide, I think this is one reason where we find education is also affected. A lot of people, sitting at the back bench are not even able to see the blackboard. So this is one of reasons why the academic performance is also affected for people with limited vision problems. So it's very, very essential to do a school screening for schools. So the technique differs little bit, like for example, schools, we don't do a diabetic retinopathy. Like here we see a diabetic retinopathy screening being done for a patient with diabetes. So this is a equipment that uses artificial intelligence, and it can really detect diabetic retinopathy. Even small changes in your blood vessels which goes in your eyes can be detected through this.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in this workplace camp, I can just give an example in Swaram. This was a camp in Swaram in Auroville where they do musical instrument, where they do even sound healing. But we identified a person 39 years old with low BP.
Mm-hmm.
So because, and he has not been checked for a long time. So we have recommended, we are also doing this kind of a blood pressure examination through our camps.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Sorry, I actually had okay, so anyway, so that you're basically bringing eye care to Auroville and the surrounding area. Like it wasn't there, and you are going and just starting to do it, starting from zero, where there's no culture of having regular eye screenings, and you're having to introduce a whole new topic, a whole new way. It's like a lifestyle change, like, come on guys, we have to sit there, you have to become aware. What are we doing? We're looking, we can't see in the distance, we can't see up close. There, the vision has become blurry. Pay attention, and and check in with someone who can explain what's going on. And also like training people not to just stay with these changes without notifying someone. There are doctors, there are people who can understand, who can treat this, because it seems like that's the biggest obstacle, just a lack of awareness about changes in vision. So you're screening for regular, just eye chart screening, visual acuity, you're screening for defects around the eyes, and you're also starting to treat, screening for glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, cataracts. And is there anything in particular that, can you say that your eye screening camps do not screen for? Is there any one problem? Aurosugan.
Not really. Like we are adopting this technology, whatever is available, and we are constantly in touch with Aravind to train our staff. So our technician that I showed, these two young girls are from the region who have been qualified, who have been trained at Aravind, but due to their family commitments, were not able to do the work at Aravind. So they, one girl brings her child to my clinic, and they play here. So it's again, it's also giving them a chance. So if you say condition that we can't really identify, there might be a few conditions like uveitis is a condition that we can't really identify, which needs expert doctors. So refer those patients. Even we have a slight doubt, I think we will refer the patients to Aravind. And we don't only end up in referring, but we keep them on track. Like we call whether they have gone to Aravind. Then we ask the medical report from Aravind to see what has happened, what has been advised. So that is even we also focus on the continuity of care, to complete the cycle. So that is the role of Aurokiya also.
Yeah.
And I think we are going out a little bit of time. I think anything Julian wants to talk about Dr. V.
Yeah, I was wondering if Julian might have a comment from his knowledge of Dr. V, Dr. Venkataswamy, who started the Auroville Hospital. And I know that every time Aurosugan that I mentioned Dr. V, you light up and you're like, wow, yes, Dr. V.
Yes.
He's so I'm wondering if Julian, seeing everything you've seen Aurosugan talk about, does that trigger any recollection of Dr. V, or do you see any reflection of Dr. V's work or an attempt to continue that kind of work?
Absolutely. Dr. Venkataswamy was so remarkable in that he looked to the West and to what Henry Ford did with the Model T and to what McDonald's did with the hamburger, this mass production, and say, can I use the greatest insights of the West and then apply it to this critical thing of being able to see? And he also was interested in innovation and computerizing. So he was thinking about telemedicine and use of high technology back when I met him in 1994. So to see what is being done in this eye clinic and the fact that it's being done in Auroville, I really feel he's smiling. His centenary was 2018, but I think he would be totally delighted with what you're doing. And this idea of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You're really in the right place to make these interventions. And I congratulate you and encourage you to continue. I think it's a wonderful model.
I think, thank you, Julian. I think that was the vision. He had a vision of eliminating blindness. So I said, to my capacity, what I will do is I will try to eliminate blindness in Auroville and the bioregion of Auroville. So, so I can just take a bit of his vision. So because we youngsters, with the visionary leaders like them, to be trained in such organization pushes our vision. I think that is what I learned being at Aravind, the vision, because as you said, the vision we developed at the age of 58 when he retired. And so this gives us the energy, like in this age, we can do a lot. So I think that is the startup that I really put myself into it. So as I told before, focus on eliminating blindness in Auroville and the bioregion. Thank you so much for your words here.
And I think the fact that you have access, because now I understand they're manufacturing their own intraocular lenses. Aravind.
Yes, that is because you rightly said, how they were able to bring management concept into the healthcare delivery. And when the Henry Ford, when I went into Aravind the first day after management, I thought to myself, when I went to see this assembly line approach where people were sitting in one bench just moving like thing for a cataract surgery, and that day I ended up seeing 100 cataract surgery in a day. So that was my first day at Aravind. I could not believe it, the management concept.
And that the price is affordable, which is so
yes, that is why. Yeah, because I heard from Vijay Patare from Sri Aurobindo says, only by management things you can't do this. The higher rate of spiritual consciousness, that brings this to happen. That is the way you think out, to reduce the cost, manufacturing your own intraocular lenses, giving it to the poor people. Because I remember what Dr. V always said, I don't see a person, I don't see X, Y sitting there, not a rich, poor. I see a soul waiting for me to be taken care. So this is the words that I have been listened. trained through this kind of words. So it's not person you're seeing is a rich person sitting, he can pay. Poor people cannot pay, but she will bring peanuts or small things to you. So you see that as a soul that is being sitting and in need of something. So these are words that really push people like us into this kind of an healthcare sector.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your words, Lilian. Yeah.
I'd like also to add that I'm grateful to see that you're going into the schools, because as someone who taught kindergarten for years and years, I've seen what an amazing thing it is when something that a child has, because we assume children, have good eyesight, but they don't always, and they don't know they don't. And so going in and helping them understand what's possible. And I mean, I had a child who was blind in one eye. Nobody knew that until they checked her at age 5. It was a big, by then it was too late to correct the problem. But if, getting children early is a huge preventative step. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to have a couple of questions too. One of them is, where is your storefront?
Can I get the question again?
Where is your storefront? Where do I see? Is it on the main road? Where is your facility?
Oh, yeah. So my facilities, I don't know if you're aware of Auroville Village Action Group, Village Action. So it's near Auroville Village Action. It's on the, near Auro Brindavanam. It's on the little bit of outskirts of Auroville, where there is access for bus. So it's near Coot Road. It's called Coot Road.
So it's closer. Oh, it's actually in Coot Road.
It is in Coot Road. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to identify.
This is a temporary place, but I'm really again I think that is a challenge that I'm really facing as a new entrepreneur. Where it's very difficult to find places in Auroville. So
right.
So I wanted to start. I think this is one of the challenge that I really face. I was not able to get a space in Auroville, so I just had one of my friend who had this place was doing some kind of a business. So if you saw in the video, you would have seen some kind of a children's things that is all kept there. So he said, I'm not able to do a business. So he just gave me a little bit of space. So I'm just using the space to reach the people, but planning to move because this is not really an ideal place.
Where would you like to be?
I would like to be a little close to Auroville, maybe somewhere near Eden, Chavadi, Kuliapalayam, but accessible by buses or travel to bioregional people, because the population of Auroville is very limited to take care. So we need to have a larger scope. So that is where I thought maybe I can have it for 1 or 2 years here to reach people and little bit move it towards close to Auroville. Because the problem here at this point, I'm not able to. It's difficult for Auroville residents to come into Coot Road because the traffic and things. It's a bit difficult. So that is the reason why I'm trying to make it a little closer to Auroville.
Yeah. Okay. I'm interested in the preventative side also, and when you talked about diabetes being responsible for a type of blindness in the retina.
Yeah.
I'm interested in creating more awareness about diet and how that will help diabetes, even more preventative, you might say, that it was actually the diet that is creating these problems. And a portion of this is our culture of having lots of white rice without any other nutrients, and that diabetes really is a big problem in India. And I've been studying the microbiome, and I've been trying to get people in Auroville and in the region to, work on that with me. And maybe you and I can talk a little later about how these all interconnect.
Absolutely, thank you for that. This because as I said, Aurokiya Eye Care is one part, but our major focus is on this preventive care. Like when we do school screening camps, so taking them to this dieting practices would really add values. Once they grow up. So this could be all incorporated into this our model of preventive care. So I'll be definitely happy to interact with you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments from Maggie, Julie, and Steve? No.
Well, I tell you, Yana, I was interested in the ecological impact of all of the medical supplies that are used, and wondering a little more about that.
I did not have time much into talking to the environmental aspects because my last few years at Aurovill was doing this. I was doing a research on the hospital waste being generated from cataract surgeries with friends from US and UK, and we are also comparing the waste that is being generated per cataract surgery in India. We are comparing it with the US, where it is like I can just give an example of the study. Here, the amount of waste that is being generated for a cataract surgery is 250 grams. Okay, in India. In US, it is 2.5 kilos. So that is the difference per cataract surgery because that is in US, the practice is different. We only use single-use things, we throw them out, but Aurovill was different. But I'm still, even being at or a little distant myself from Aurovill, but when it comes to project on environmental sustainability, I am like an advisor for Aurovill. So I'm also still working on this, even being at Auroville. So recently I met a person called Terry, who was from UNICEF, who's also very interested in the hospital waste. So we are also going to do studies on that and also see how, as I said, how preventive care can reduce this waste. So that would be really an interesting thing because, as I told you before, if we pollute the environment, more diseases are going to come. And we are going to treat more diseases, more waste are going to come. It's a simple thing that is going to happen. So we need really to be very careful in healthcare. Yeah. Sorry, I can't explain there are a lot of things I even did in Africa with the solar, but I think time is very thing.
Do you have a website?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
I'm more into the clinical aspects, not into the advertisement.
So we're actually AVI USA is going to try to help Aurosugan with the website and with establishing just a very clear, simple web presence so that he's easier to find and all the information is readily available. And hopefully, patients will be able to access this presentation online. And yeah, so we're actually trying to help with that. And I just wanted to say, because I had the wrong version of the slideshow, it was 95% correct, but there was some information in the slideshow that was missing. And it's not about the eye cares, but I just wanted to mention that Aurokiya is also introducing a new initiative, which is not just a mobile eye care, but it's also mobile health screening, which is done in collaboration with Kinesi e-bicycles, where Aurosugan has also developed a general health screening protocol, which has started or is in the process of starting, where he has people trained in emergency medicine hop on an electric bicycle with the gear in their backpack and going to patients who need health screening at home. So I just wanted to add that so just to illustrate how, prolific and the vision of Aurokiya is not just for eye care, but the whole scope of the enterprise is preventative on, on a very, preventative healthcare from A to Z, So if you just want to tell us just a couple of things about the goals of Aurokiya for the near future and any other initiatives, and then we can end the presentation.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, I think that you already said it. Thank you so much for reminding it. I think so. That was the question of how does Aurokiya work on the sustainability part? Like, what was the question of environmental sustainability? So we thought Aurokiya cannot do everything alone. So we need to have collaborative partners. So we are now also working on collaborative partners. So Kinishi is one partner that we are trying to see. So we are trying to give zero negative carbon impacts on when providing eye care. And that is the question, how we are towards environmental sustainability. So take an e-cycle. We don't need an ambulance or things for all checkups, to go in Auroville. We have a small place. We can use a cycle geared up with all this portable equipments, which are not very costly, but we need to have some kind of an established equipments, like with the FDA approved, because it's very critical when we use things like that. We can't use simple tech, just technology. So it has to be established or approved technologies that we're trying to work. And we're also trying to work with partners outside Auroville. Like for Kinishi is going to be one with Auroville, where we're going to do this cycle, healthcare on e-cycle. That is going to be the thing. We're going to take BP, we're going to take an ECG, everything on this cycle. Also some medicines, everything will be on this cycle, and this person will be just going wherever he gets a call. It will come to a particular central thing where this central team will allocate the person, give him a message to go to this particular place. So that is how we are going to do in this. And other thing is home care also, like people who are in need to do home visits to reduce the cost for those patients, to reduce their hospital stays. That is also going to be a future concept of Aurokiya. And the important point that was brought up in this meeting is preventive care with nutrition. That is where, nutrition, not only with the nutrition essential, but to see whether they're taking the required amount of vitamins, the proteins, also to do some kind of a study to see this, and like what time they take their food, and are they doing exercise. So this is all going to be part of Aurokiya's the next step initiatives towards the holistic care of preventive and promotive care.
Okay. Okay, well, that's really great to hear. And I think we've all found a lot of pretty interesting information. Maybe some of it's a little bit harder to digest for those of us who are not in the medical or healthcare field. But I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Aurosugan for all the work he's been doing, and just to encourage everyone to check in, if anyone wants any information about Aurosugan, we can give you his personal contact. Right now, Aurokiya is looking for, so the near-term goals of the Vision Center are a drive for 150 pairs of eyeglasses for school children, a sponsorship for 150 pairs of eyeglasses, a sponsorship for 75 cataract operations, and more donations for the free eye care camp, so that Aurosugan can keep doing it at the pace that he envisions, and bringing a mobile eye care to Auroville and the surrounding areas, to school children, to staff in Auroville. And for the long-term goals, it's what he described. Well, also one of the short-term goals is putting up the website and just having a little bit of clear outward communications. And then for the long-term goals, it's just moving Aurokiya a little bit closer to Auroville and just expanding in different areas of healthcare to make this affordable and accessible. So the preventative healthcare and preventative health education. So the two fundamentals of screening and educating to never let the diseases progress to the point where a patient ends up in the emergency room. So please get in touch with AVI USA. We have Aurosugan's page, aviusa.org/Aurosugan, or if you just check Aurosugan in our search bar on the bottom of the website, that page will be constantly updated with more information. And or contact us to get in touch with Aurosugan directly. And you know, so I think this is a time to end everything and to thank everyone for being here and thank Aurosugan for all of his work, bringing health to Auroville and the surrounding areas. Okay. So thank you, Aurosugan.
Thank you so much. I think I've gone a little bit out of time. Thank you so much for your thing. So I'll just like to end with one of the proverbs of Dr. V's. Intelligence and capabilities are not enough. There must be a joy of doing something very beautiful. So I think that is what we do. This is a famous quote of Dr. V that I would like to end with my talk. Thank you so much. I'm really happy and very thankful to AVI USA and AV Radio for this wonderful work and taking me forward here. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Interesting.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.